Good morning. One thing that I've noticed that has another impact, a significant impact. It's not the biggest impact, but it's still a significant impact on efficiency in the workplace is how people set up their workspace. How is your workspace set up? Is it set up so that it's really I'm not going to say clear, but it's focused and it helps you focus? Or is it something that leads you down certain paths that you can get distracted really easily? Is it cluttered? Because if there's a lot of clutter, it's difficult. It's more difficult to focus. It's a fact. Okay. Now I'm a very clean person. I'm not a very tidy person. I've had to work really hard on making sure things are tidy around my office, and I have to consistently work at this because I've noticed such a massive difference for myself. I used to lie to myself and say, oh no, clutter is great, it allows me to think, and it doesn't work. Again, research shows this over and over. Having a clear space is helpful. So today what I'm going to talk about is how to kind of set things up so that you can have your most effective, efficient, proficient time in your office or your workspace. And here's what I'm going to suggest. And this is a key tip. Before you end each day, make sure you're ready for the next day. Now, for me, I spend a lot of time in my office. All right, I do a lot of webinars, I do a lot of calls, phone, Zoom, whatever it is. And because I'm doing so many calls like that, I'm in my office space, and I need my office space to work for me. So what are things that I can do? Well, before I go to bed, before I take off from my office, what I can do is I can clear up a little bit. Often it can take like 2-3 minutes to clear everything up, especially if I'm on top of it. It takes almost no time. Secondly, I can place things in a certain way that are effective for me the next day. And now, again, we've talked about this before, haven't we? We've talked about how if we prepare for the next day in the evening or the afternoon before the next day, then we're more likely to get more done, and then we're going to be more efficient. We're going to have far better time management skills there. Excuse me. So what you want to do is you want to go through the list. What am I going to be doing tomorrow? What do I need for tomorrow? Do I need my computer? Do I have my laptop? Do I need whatever? And get those things ready. Often I will even on my computer, so usually I don't shut everything down. Usually I just put things to sleep. But I make sure that my browser is not filled with, again, I've been picking on the cat videos, but they're not filled with cat videos or social media or something where if I turn it on, I'm going to be distracted. That's not what I want. Instead, I clear all that kind of stuff off my computer, and I only leave maybe the browser open that leads me to the thing that I need to do first. Okay, so if I want to work on my affirmations and that's on my computer, I make sure that's up. And then as soon as I turn my computer, that's what I see. Because if I get distracted, I want to be distracted on the thing that I want to focus on first thing, rather than distracted on something that pulls me away from work. So the night before, the afternoon before, just as you're finishing up work, make sure that your workspace is set up properly. Now, the other things that help you, make sure that there's a space where you can sit up or stand up properly, okay? If you are slouching, that posture will lead to slowed thinking because it puts us into a relaxed space. What we do with our bodies affects how we feel. In the same way that if you're feeling a little lethargic, take a walk around the block, and a brisk walk around the block, and you'll be awake again. In the same way, sitting up in kind of an erect posture where you feel strong and then you're engaged, you will do better work. Now, what I'd like to do is please comment on this. What are some systems you have to make your workspace better? Because this is something that I find fascinating. As I talk to more people, everyone has their own little ideas. Everyone has their own little system. And this is a good thing. There's no one system that fits all with this kind of thing. So again, there are certain tasks that do fit more people, like setting things up in advance, setting things up. But legitimately, you might have an idea that works better for you than works better for me or for somebody else. So I'd love to hear your comments on this. Remember, as you're working through these ideas, as you are starting to put these things in place and maybe even feel overwhelmed, I don't know which video we're on, 15, 14, whatever it is, but by the time we get through all these videos, you're going to have a lot of stuff to do. Remember that you can always go back on these videos. Go to my website, markfrentz.com. In the free content section, you'll find these, and you can go back to them and kind of review them. You'll have access for them for forever, right? As long as I'm around, as long as I think my legacy is around, I want people to have free access to this kind of stuff. So know that you'll have access. And you can go back and study that and work on these things. Know that you've got this.